Operations and Sales podcast. This is Arek Skuza. Since 2011, I can't believe that, I've been working as a person involved in machine learning, artificial intelligence. Last 9 years, I spent that time as a consultant working for medium-sized and large-sized companies. And this is the podcast which is about artificial intelligence only. I believe modern C-level guys need to understand what AI can bring, what are the risks, but what are also the advantages of using artificial intelligence in business. So welcome in my podcast. And today I want to introduce you to a couple important metrics and numbers I've been studying recently showing where artificial intelligence can bring a lot of good things, speaking about customer operations and sales. So if you will be here today with me, you'll learn many reasons why and where artificial intelligence in sales particularly it's actually helpful. Before I start, I want to tell you that all this written text and knowledge about this kind of topics you can find on my blog, which is rxkuza.com. And that's the place when you can also study case studies, my own, but also others that I've loved to check, to learn and see how companies are building artificial intelligence. Problems mostly I'm interested in is customer engagement through AI assistance or AI metrics in customer operations and sales departments. Also, I'm very fascinated with how companies should redesign their product portfolio to stay relevant and not making that obsolete. So that kind of things you can find there. And today in my podcast, I want to actually mention 5 different important places when artificial intelligence can play a significant role in customer operations and sales, and give you evidence behind that to make sure that you put your effort, resources, budget into those specific areas and answer why. So first one I want to mention is know your customers inside out. As you know, artificial intelligence is something that differentiates itself from regular algorithms through self-learning. If we apply data to artificial intelligence, we know that data makes artificial intelligence smarter. How that works? Basically, AI models can learn which parameters should we set up in which specific way to make sure that the output, the answer is properly designed. That parameters and the whole system gets smarter if we have good quality data in that. So if we're thinking about AI-powered systems and AI-powered customer relationship management systems, we know that artificial intelligence digs deep into customer data to find patterns and preferences. This is something I would love to share by analogies to bike riding. Imagine you ride your bike, and currently the most apps can measure the velocity, how high in terms like geo position you drive, or you go downhill, uphill, can measure your heartbeat and other things. Speaking about bikes, you can see how many turns you took or how fast your wheels were spinning, that kind of things, but that's it. Imagine you add more data like weather, like the time of the day, like your energy level that you set in your preferences, like what you wear while riding your bike. All those elements create data points. But still, if you have so many data points without additional insight, you will learn only this. But when you hook up artificial intelligence algorithms into that, they will look for a pattern. So they might tell you, Arek, when you take the bike after 1 p.m. and you wear like the professional biking clothes, which produce less anti-power against the air and the wind, and then you are properly hydrated and you had the protein breakfast that day, we see that pattern brings you to higher speed, average speed of biking. That is only possible with pattern recognition. And that bike's analogy works also in customer relationship. If you analyze unstructured conversation you conduct with your customers on Slack or Teams, you can find patterns you can only imagine are there, but are hard to find through manual check. So think about knowing your customers inside out, running AI algorithms on top of your customer data to check for the patterns. Like this bike analogy, single data points connected together are only that good. But if you look for the patterns in that ecosystem, you'll find that the specific pattern will work for you. So that's one thing I would love to introduce you to, which is always worth investing your time and money in customer rep operations and sales to look for that patterns. You can find answers, and believe me, I've been there. You can find answers like, for instance, what kind of proposals our customers likes in a PowerPoint format or a regular doc, more text, more images, things like that. You can actually find through pattern recognition. Second thing, it's predict who will buy. Just you can finally stop guessing which leads will convert because AI can predict it with a very high level of precision. Predictive analytic boosts sales opportunities by 20%. That's what actually reports from Forbes advisory says. So from a sales pipeline quality perspective, this is amazing opportunity. This is the opportunity when you can actually build up quality of your pipeline while predicting who is going to buy what. Another analogy. Imagine you drink your family drink three types of coffees, like regular black coffee, caramel macchiato, and this pumpkin spice one. And your family creates specific patterns or purchasing that coffees in your neighborhood coffee shop. If that coffee shop is going to predict what you want to buy, you might be exposed to pumpkin cake or something related to hot Americano, but also you might be suggested to drink iced Americano when the temperature outside is above 85 Fahrenheit. So that analogy shows you that you can predict the proper suggestion, proper recommendation, and according to different reports, your precision will be 20% higher with AI than with regular algorithms. Currently, there is so many tools on the market that can help you to predict. One of my customer predicted that in their 5 chocolate bars portfolio, 2 should be killed so that 3 others can be actually driving more revenue. Which one to kill and when was predicted by artificial intelligence, and it brings them between 5 to 7% margin change in a positive way. So that predictions are possible with artificial intelligence, and that sale can be changed. Third area is personalizing. Generic pitches are like pitching, generic presentations, generous deck are that by definition. Imagine buying a car 40 years ago. Most of the cars look the same. You might have a different trim, but there was maybe like 1-2 options. I'm not mentioning 4T, which was one black, but I'm talking about like even modern Cadillacs or Mercuries or like Mercedes-Benz. 40 years ago, you might probably buy 2 options in the same line. Today, almost each car you see on the road is different because we expect personalization. But that's product personalization, which happens at the purchasing cycle when you buy the car, when you purchase the car. A lot of things happen before. presentations, customer materials, offering, proposals, emails, the way you speak to your customers. All of that can be personalized. Personalized emails have 41% higher click-through rates than those generic ones. But the personalization today in AR generative times is different. It's hyper-personalization on a massive scale. And that's what you want to have in your company. You want to maximize everything because personalize everything on a massive scale, because generative AI engines, if you connect to them through APIs, can actually generate personalized offering proposals. Software like Beautiful.ai or Slidex or anything else can build personalized slides with a minute. Obviously, you need to check them out. You need to proof check. You need to read them. You need to maybe redesign a couple slides. But 80 to 70% of your work will be automated and personalized on a massive scale. And that's what your customers expect. So if your team, sales team, or customer service team is talking to your customers all the time the same way, everybody hear the same story, the same message, that is definitely wrong. You are not taking the advantage of this personalization that artificial intelligence enables. And that should be your first priority change in your company. Another thing I want to mention is automation and domination. Artificial intelligence is not required to automate. Automation can be done without AI. Imagine this old school Microsoft Excel scripts that you probably design for like transferring data across different spreadsheets or like automating calculation, things like this. But if you think about artificial intelligence, it can give you more. It will give you a prediction what should be automated. And if you think about software like Camunda that can learn your current processes and find the heat maps in it and make sure that the specific part of the process is useful and the other one is dead because nobody goes this path, you can actually automate a lot. Gartner is saying that by 2028, 60% of business-to-business sales work will use conversational AI, which means a lot of automation and a lot of prediction. I call this field automation and domination. The reason I call it automation and domination is because AI can actually bring together those two elements. It can automate, for instance, through agents, but Zapier or ITFFF or other software this type can automate stuff too. But without AI component, you cannot predict. So for instance, I give you an analogy. One of my customer was actually automating unstructured text summarization in customer service department. So we took like thousands of emails and processed them through classic machine learning project. So that was a lot of automation on like extracting text, then processing and categorization. Generative AI creates the best possible answer for each of these customers. So that was a massive personalization together with automation and prediction. This is possible only today, and by 2028, that's what Gartner says, and I can easily imagine that. It's all of that work will be like commodity. Everybody was going to use that. So currently, you can actually wipe out any manual, any tedious tasks, and make them, I would even call smarter because of AI and automation. So that's the automation and domination. Another and the last one is making smart decisions. If you listen to my podcast and you've been here before, you know I hate buzzwords and I hate future-oriented discussions. We have so many things we can do right now. We don't need to really talk about future. And for sure, In my opinion, we don't need to talk about robots killing us or take over the earth. We can do so much good today. And smarter decisions are something, it's here. AI provides clear, actionable insight for better decision making. So 60% of leaders believe that AI can change their productivity and efficiency of decisions. How? Well, imagine this. You know, I love analogies and storytelling. So here's this one. I love to play computer games. And when you play computer games, you want to achieve something in that game. You want to have another badge or another level, proficiency, whatever. But if there is something analyzing the environment around me, looking in my eyes and seeing how I interact with the trackpad or with this Nintendo controller, it can give me hints. Hey, Arik, you might change the way you actually push the buttons or the speed of the buttons. You can work on this and that, and can give me that as my decision factor, where I should put my skills into to be better in the computer game. But that doesn't come from the computer game. That might come from the trackpad or the controller itself if it's smart. Most of the controllers now are dumb. They don't give us any feedback regarding how we interact with this hardware physical thing. If we move that to customer operations and sales department, imagine keyboards. Logitech keyboards now can have automation hidden under the specific shortcut, which can boost up your productivity. But I start talking about smart decisions, not productivity, right? So my point is, in this particular case, if you know where you can take the data from, your decisions will be smarter. If your manufacturing line is blind, means that you have 3-4 sensors in case of the fire, but nothing else is measured and monitored, you're like a dumb controller of gaming device. You know nothing about it as long as the machine or the specific piece of your manufacturing line will send you a signal. Except for that, you know nothing about it. You're blind, you don't see that. If you are a manager of a company that sells pipes, water pipes, and you want to make your customer operations more efficient, if you need to put something into that pipe to measure, for instance, the water flow, because you can then react for your customer before something happens, which makes your sales decision faster. Your customer service department will act differently. So this is like making smarter decisions with AI. My point is, AI isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's not something in the future. I know many people are now listening to this and saying, hey, this guy is crazy. He's talking about AI and it's not here yet. It's a future. No, it's not. Believe me, it's not. So many products there are being used. You don't know. My favorite saying is AI is everywhere. I even have that on my car license plate because it's literally everywhere. So imagine this. If you are not using this, you need to understand that. First thing I want to encourage you is to follow this podcast. Second, subscribe to my newsletter on arikskuza.com. Come to my LinkedIn, connect with me. Twice a day, I put like educational content about AI. I want to reach to 3 million people within the next 3 years. To make sure that they understand how to use artificial intelligence in their software, in their company, in their car, in their home, in their app, in their Coffee Mac. Yes, Coffee Macs will have artificial intelligence one day too. So thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate your time. Always comment if you see a space for improvement. I'm a consultant, so I want to learn from your feedback and get my deliveries and deliverables better every day. Take care, thank you, and bye-bye.